Welcome to Treon's Realm. Today we're going to take a look at the physical version of The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, as well as the Nintendo Switch 2 edition. Anybody who's been watching my videos for any period of time knows that The Legend of Zelda is my favorite series of all time. And Breath of the Wild in particular, that ranks as one of my #1 games ever. And if I'm being honest, Tears of the Kingdom literally stands side by side with that one. The game is a stunning expansion of what was started in Breath of the Wild, and I couldn't be more thrilled that we've gotten so many entries within this particular era of Legend of Zelda. I know that might be controversial among many fans, but personally, as a person who's been with the series literally from the very beginning, I think this particular era is an excellent addition to the whole series. Now, the big question would be, what is added when playing it on the Nintendo Switch 2? Well, one of the big features would be the performance increase. It takes the game from the roughly 30 frames per second that was on the Switch 1 and ups it to 60 frames per second, which makes it a much smoother playing game. There is HDR support, or high dynamic range, and if you have a screen that supports this, you will notice a richer, more high contrast color palette. The load times are much faster, and when it comes to the screen resolution, if you play the Switch 1 docked, that max resolution is 900p, and if you play it in handheld, the max resolution is 720p. When it comes to the Switch 2, the docked version clocks in at 1440p, and handheld it runs in a full 1080p. Now, the other major feature is the Zelda Notes, which is in the Nintendo Switch app that you can download to your phone or tablet. And there is a variety of different modes with this. You have navigation, which essentially acts as a Zelda GPS and makes it much easier if you are looking to find the hidden secrets within the game, and is an absolute must for 100%ing. There is now a function where you can share in-game creations as well as items with friends who also have Zelda Notes. There is a photo studio for people who like that particular feature, and they also record all of your play data. There is also a series of achievements in here that are tied to enemies that you defeat, items that you collect, that type of stuff. They have enhanced amiibo scanning, where if you scan in on a daily basis, they actually give you bonus scans. And lastly, and I would argue most importantly, there are the voice memories. Now, this is specifically for the lore hounds, but as you explore the world, and if you have your Zelda Notes on and connected to your Switch 2 while playing the game, when you enter specific or key areas, you will have one of 3 characters who will actually have fully voice-acted lines that will expand on the lore of Hyrule. They got back the voice actors for Princess Zelda, King Rauru, and Master Koga. And there are literally hundreds of entries, so there is a lot of additional content to find. My guess is that the extra money that was charged for this is specifically for paying for those voice actors. Now, when it comes to differences between the two, unlike other entries in the Zelda series on the Nintendo Switch, Tears of the Kingdom in particular has not gotten another cartridge revision since launch. The Switch 1 edition of the game clocks in at 16.5 gigabytes. Which means that this is one of the rare Switch titles that actually used a 32 gigabyte cartridge. The cartridge revision ends in 000 and has version 1.0.0 on cart. Now, since release, there were a few patches that were released, and it is currently up to version 1.4.2. And that patch clocks in at 582 megabytes. The most recent patches make it so that it is able to actually run on the Switch 2 and is capable of downloading the upgrade pack. Now, when it comes to the Switch 2 edition of the game, that version clocks in at 20 gigabytes. The Switch 2 cart revision is 00, and it launches with version 1.3.0 on cart. There is a patch that upgrades the game to version 1.4.2, and that one clocks in at 718 megabytes. In the case of both games, they are playable on their respective systems, completely raw, but obviously the patches have added in some small improvements. Now, it should be noted that the Nintendo Switch 2 edition is playable on both consoles. This means if you are planning on getting a Switch 2 later down the road, but you don't want to drop that money now, you can buy the Switch 2 edition of the game and it will run on your Nintendo Switch 1. I have fully tested this and I have absolutely no problems with it. Now, obviously, if you're playing it on a Switch 1, the upgrades for the Switch 2 will not be available on the Switch 1. The cartridge has the Switch 1 edition of the game, plus the Switch 2 upgrade as well. And that upgrade is actually on the cartridge. It is not a download code. Have you played Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom? Either the Switch 1 or the Switch 2 edition? Did you enjoy it? What are your feelings on the game? Let us know in the comments down below. If this video helped you and you'd like to see more, please subscribe and hit that like button. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you later.